Everyone. I'm Phil Junta, your writer, host, and occasional story narrator here on this channel. It's been about 2 months since my last update. I'm still dealing with the aftermath of my mother's death. I've also had some health issues and some home projects, also busy with my day job and writing like a madman. I just submitted 4 short stories to 4 different publishers. Um, horror stories, 2 horror stories, a science fiction story, and a Halloween tale, which was not exactly horror. It was just a very lighthearted Halloween tale. I should be hearing back from at least 2 of those publishers this month. The rest will be probably next year before I hear back from them. So, keeping fingers crossed on all 4 of those for acceptances, but we'll see what happens and I'll keep you updated. But in the meantime, I just want to follow up on my previous episode here on this channel. In August, I talked about a short story that I wrote called A Thorn in Time, and it was published by Celestial Echo Press, a Philadelphia-based small press, in their time travel anthology called Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel. At the time I mentioned this in the previous episode, I did not have a copy of the book yet. This came in the meantime. This is a trade paperback size paperback of Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel. Ruth and Ann are the owners of Celestial Echo Press. They're also the editors of all their books that they publish. This is volume 1 of Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel. Again, it was published in August, and I'll have links to that in the show notes below. Volume 2, which has a whole host of different writers, will be published at the end of November, I believe. I believe the ebook is out now, but the paperback won't be out till the end of November. Volume 1 will be launched at PhilCon, which is not my convention. It is the Philadelphia Science Fiction Convention in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It takes place this year, the weekend of November 22nd to the 24th. Our book launch for Volume 1 of Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel will take place on Saturday, November 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Consuite. So I'm not sure how many of the authors from the book will be there. I hear there's quite a few. I will also be there. I tend to go to PhilCon as often as I possibly can, and for this, certainly. So we'll be holding a book launch there, which will include signings, and of course, the writers will be reading excerpts from their stories. The nice thing about this book, a couple other nice features. I'm so many writers that I know from my writing circles are have stories in this book. Some that I know only online, and some that I know in person. But the nicest thing about this is Anne Stalinsky, one of the editors of the book, was at the Right Stuff Conference, which is my local writers conference here in the Lehigh Valley part of Pennsylvania. And Jonathan Mayberry, 5-time Bram Stoker Award winner, best-selling author, was our keynote speaker. As it happens, Anne sat down at lunch with Jonathan at his table. She mentioned this book. It was being funded by a Kickstarter at the time. He was intrigued enough to offer to write the introduction, which then Anne used, of course, to promote the Kickstarter, and that drove the Kickstarter funding way up, and it reached its goal during our writers conference, which was wonderful. As it turned out, Jonathan did not, in fact, write the introduction. He wrote an exclusive short story based on his Joe Ledger character. So it is exclusive to this book. It's a wonderful story. It is called, let me grab it out of the table of contents, Against That Time, If Ever That Time Come. So the introduction, however, was in fact written by, this is really cool, Steve Davidson, the owner and publisher of Amazing Stories, which is fantastic. So this book has some wonderful stories by some great writers. It's, of course, always an honor to be included in the book with Jonathan Mayberry, to share pages with Jonathan Mayberry and so many other wonderful writers in this book, Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel, out now. Other things that are going on, just to bring you up to speed, my paranormal mystery novel, Testing the Prisoner, which has won 6 awards, has just won its 7th. Back in the summer, it won the PenCraft Summer 2024 Best Book Award. And PenCraft runs these seasonal awards. So every winter, spring, summer, fall, they run these awards. The winners of the seasonal awards are then forwarded to the end of year for the best book of the year. And I'm proud to say that Testing the Prisoner won second place. Second place. Here it was the winner in the summer 2024, but it won second place in the end of year best book award in horror category. So I was very thrilled about that. That's up on my website, and I'll have links to that down below. So it won Best Book of Summer, but it won second place for Best Book of 2024 in the horror category. So that was huge. That was a quite an honor. I didn't expect it. I just happened to go. They didn't even email me about it. I just went to their website because I was curious because I remembered. Wait a minute, didn't I? I did submit this to Summer. It did win, and I think they do some kind of end of year thing. That just kind of popped into my head. And let me just go check the website. And lo and behold, there it was. It was second place at the end of the year. So that was exciting. Another thing that was exciting that just happened recently, I just returned last week from a glorious writers retreat called the Mindful Writers Retreat. It occurs every October and February. There's a fall retreat and a winter retreat. I go every October to the Laurel Highlands region of the Allegheny Mountains in Western Pennsylvania, specifically Ligonier, Pennsylvania, to a camp and conference center there. And it is absolutely glorious. This time of year in the fall, when the leaves are changing, you're driving through Pennsylvania. It is just unlike anything. It is so gorgeous. And being out there nestled in the mountains is wonderful every year. I try not to miss it. I've missed a couple, but I try not to miss this week-long this October retreat. And this was the best one yet. Really getting to know more and more of the writers who are the regulars there. I've become a regular to bond with them. They're wonderful people. I love sharing laughs. We also do guided meditations once a day. We have hours long times, periods where you're just writing in solitude and peace and quiet, focusing on your work, getting into flow and focusing on your work. You get a chance to walk out in nature any time of day you want. I take a lot of sunrise walks as well as afternoon walks in some parts of the property. It's acres and acres of just gorgeous woods and everything. So when I came back from this, however, uh, the weekend I came back, which was just October 26th and 27th, was the Fall BookFest Awards, the Fall BookFest um, festival, if you will. It takes place online. But the BookFest runs contests every spring and fall. Testing the Prisoner took second place in horror in the ghost and paranormal category in the spring contest, and my second novel, By Your Side, just took not one, not two, but three awards. It took the first place in supernatural ghost category, it took second place in horror, ghosts, and paranormal category, and third place in the mystery supernatural category. I submitted to all three of those categories. Unlike Testing the Prisoner, I only submitted to one. This time around, I thought, what the hey, let's submit to three categories. At least I'll get one. I did not expect to rank somewhere or place somewhere in all three. That's quite an honor. I was thrilled when I came back, and actually I found that on Saturday. There's always, I got to say about this writers retreat that I go to, uh, there's always something magical about it. Not just being in that wonderful location with those incredible people that I'm with, those wonderful friends who have become my friends, but also I've had short story acceptances come in while I'm at the retreat. I've had books published while I'm at the retreat, just to add a little more icing to that sweet cake. And coming back from the retreat and running right into this wonderful announcement was just, again, it was the icing on that cake. So very proud and excited to have won three awards from three different categories for By Your Side. So that was wonderful. A couple of other things that are going on just to bring up the speed. I will be not only at PhilCon, the Philadelphia Science Fiction Convention, again in November 22nd to the 24th to launch Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel. But my last show of the year as a vendor selling my books with a table will be the Lehigh Valley Comic Con. So if you're in the Allentown area, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, I will have a table at the Lehigh Valley Comic Con on Saturday, December 7th. That takes place at Lehigh Carbon Community College in their community center toward the back of campus. So if you enter main campus off of Route 309, there are signs that will guide you around to the community center. It's a wonderful convention. It's a one-day show from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I love it. It's just up the road from me. I don't have to deal with hotels or anything like that. Just go set up my table, sell some books, chat with people, give out candy, have a good time, and then come home at the end of the day. So it's a wonderful show. Of course, I will also be at Farpoint in February of 2025 down in Pikesville, Maryland. So you can check out the links to that will also be below. Links to all the stuff I'm talking about, Lehigh Valley Comic Con, PhilCon, Ruth and Ann's Guide to Time Travel, my website with some new updates on it. All this will be on, and Farpoint, of course, will all be down the show notes below. Get links to all these cool things. cool events to go to, cool books to read. And once again, some things I do have coming out also next year, probably around January, February. I have a short science fiction story called In the Span of a Heartbeat that was accepted by Black Cat Weekly magazine. It's an online magazine that does science fiction, fantasy, and mystery. They accepted my story a few months ago. They're about 4 to 5 months backlog, so my story should be out around January, February. I'll let you guys know when it happens. I'll have links to that as well. So that's all I have for now, I believe. I don't think I'm missing anything. I just wanted to bring you up to speed. Of course, in 2025, this whole YouTube channel is going to be revamped a bit. I will have a lot more author interviews talking about other people's work, up and coming writers. You know, the big names, they get a lot of press. A lot of the up and coming independent authors do not. They struggle to find exposure for their work. So I'm hoping to use this channel for that. So here we are, October 28th, a few days before Halloween. As you can see, some Halloween decorations behind me in the window here. So I'm wishing you all happy Halloween to those who celebrate. Have a great time. And hopefully I'll be back a little sooner than 2 months with some new updates, especially if I have any more short story acceptances. And in fact, what I'd like to do at some point, since this channel started as during the pandemic as a way of reading short stories to an audience when conventions were shut down, I continued doing that even after the pandemic was quote unquote over and not much of a threat anymore, and conventions started opening up again. I still kept reading stories here on this channel. So at some point, I will read for you my story, A Thorn in Time, from this book. Here, I'll record it and I'll put it up there for you as a sample. So if you like my story, as a sample, maybe the rest of the book will intrigue you. But I would recommend you just run out and get this right now, whether it's on ebook or paperback. It's a wonderful book. It's got a lot of great writers in it, and volume 2 will as well. So that's all I have. Have a wonderful Halloween. And if I don't see you before Thanksgiving or the holidays, enjoy your holidays, but I hope to be back before then. All righty. All right. Thanks so much for all of your support as an independent writer and an independent published writer. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate all your support, even if you're not buying my books, even if you're borrowing them, even if you're, getting them from a library, if you're just reading them and reviewing them, or you're getting them from a free giveaway. I don't care how you get your hands on them. If you're reading them and you like them and you're leaving reviews, that means the most to me. That means so much to me to get that kind of praise. Because I don't, like actors, they don't act to sit in the basement or an attic and act. They go out into a public. They go out to an audience. Writers, I'm publishing these stories for readers to read. And I want people to read them, and I want people to enjoy them, and I hope they enjoy them. And I hope that they leave feedback and reviews on Amazon and Goodreads and Library Thing or wherever else they want to leave reviews. That means the world to us as writers, especially independent writers. So again, I appreciate all your support. All right. I'm going to shut up now, let you go, and I will catch you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.